Hey everybody, it's Chuck and I'm back out in the shop. Tonight I'm going to be talking about my newest addition to my walleye arsenal, and it is the Dead Eye rod from the St Croix Custom Ice series. It's a Dead Eye. It's 32 inches long. It's medium moderate. It's got the split grip handle on it, great quality cork, and it's going to be upgrading my dead stick approach, my technique. No more dealing with bobbers, And like I said, medium moderate. And it's got a nice yellow tip on it, fluorescent green, chartreuse, if you will. And that's going to telegraph anything going on below with a good walleye on it. Even though it's a split grip, I'm almost going to call that a Tennessee handle for tonight's video, because that's the approach I'm going to take when it comes to placing my reel on that rod. And for that choice, I've gone to a full-size Daiwa Revos LT. It's a 1000. I'm going to be using 6 8-pound test on this. I've already got it spooled up with 8. I might change my mind later on, but I'm not going to be going in inland waters with this rod very often, so I'm probably going to go with the 8-pound trilene that I've already got on it. All right, and there it is. It's a full-size reel, same size that I would put on my 5'8" Icon, my 5'9" Avids, my 6'3" Legends, 1000, 2000. Same reel, just different spool size. So what does that do for me? Why am I going to a big reel versus the new 750 size that came out the last year and a half, season and a half, if you will? Because I want a bigger reel on it. I want a bigger handle. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it in the shanty as far as the layout goes when I'm jigging my other two rods. So I want to be able to get it to where it's most comfortable. I might keep the reel on this side. I might put the handle on this side. I might put the handle on the other side. But for now, I plan on fighting that fish with my left hand and reeling with my right. It's what I'm most comfortable with. Okay, Tennessee handles. Love them. Wish all ice rod companies made Tennessee handles versus the reel seat. Some of the reel seat ones are fine. Only because the handles are so short, I don't have a choice. And they usually tend to balance out real well. The trick I'm going to be showing you tonight involves masking tape. And I still prefer to use electrical tape. Now, early on, when I was first getting started, I did a lot of things different than I do now. If I was going walleye fishing, I would take my little Daiwa Caprices off, my panfish stuff, and I put them on my walleye rods. This is a St. Croix Premier 28-inch medium. Still a nice quality rod. Look at the fast tip on that. 18 years later. Well, I shouldn't say that. Maybe 16 years later. Right around 2003, 2004 when I purchased this rod from Cabela's. All right. Tennessee handle. I got the place where I wanted it. But like I said, I was switching the reels all around. So if I would peel my tape off, because let's face it, back then electric tape was pretty much your only choice. Little chunks of cork would come off your handle. And it's like, oh man, I don't want that happening all the time. That's kind of messed up. So what I would do is, on this Tennessee handle, I would take the masking tape and I would put a layer, a thin, very thin layer. I can see the cork right through that masking tape. And that would be my base. Then I would attach the reel with the masking tape. And like I said, this rod's an 2003. So I've been doing this 16, 17 years easily. Here's an example of one of my first St. Croix Avids. It's a 32-inch medium. It's got a carbon fiber Tennessee handle on it. I don't need the masking tape. I'm not peeling off the material on this handle. I don't have to worry about it. Same thing with today's Avid. This one's a 30-inch, and it is got a different type of handle on it. It's a soft, hardish foam, but if I peel the tape off, the handle's not coming off with it, so I don't have to worry about it. Right. First thing I'm going to do is take a pair of scissors, because I could thread this off if I really wanted to spend the time, and I could really get a sharper pair of scissors. But that's what I'm going to be working with. That's the handle. All right, so what I usually do with the longer Tennessee handles is I will put the reel on the ground. Make sure I can get it lined up. There we go. It's perfectly lined up, flat, balanced. And I will take that reel and put the rod handle right over it. And I want, because of the split grip, I want a little bit distance from the front of the cork. But I still want to be able to pistol grip it. When it comes to ice fishing, I prefer to pistol grip the handle. It's easier to fight, easier to control. I can look over the side, look down the hole. I know where the fish is coming from. So I'm going to take my masking tape, and I'm going to start it off at a little bit of an angle. And then I'm just going to slowly work my way down this handle till I get to a certain spot. And of course I've kind of flubbed this one up. Let's see where we're at. That's actually looking pretty good, people. So what I'm going to do now is, I like to make things pretty, so I will take a little more masking tape. I use the scissors only so my lines look fresh and not messed up. I could have done a little bit longer piece, and I'm going to put that all the way across. Hold it firm. Yep, I did. I missed it by about that much. If you ever saw Get Smart back in the day on TV, or the remake even. All right. So you can see that top piece. That's good to go. I've already cut one piece off. All right. So as you can see, I've got that masking tape going where the reel seat is going to go on the handle. And then I'm going to perfectly, and I say that, and hopefully it works out the first time. I'm going to do that. So I got it measured up, and I'm ready to go. So I'm going to take some electric tape, and I'm only going to take about a 3-inch section. And I am going to put the first one on the front. Going to put the second one on the back. And this is going to be just for lining up the reel with the eyes of the rod. And it's going to be my lock, so I can start applying wraps afterward. So I'm just going to get it started. And I know it would be a lot easier if I was doing it this way, but then I couldn't see if the eyes are going to line up with the rod like I can this way. When I start doing the extra wraps with the electric tape, I will fix that problem. All right, so I've got it. And I'm cradling the reel. I'm looking at my tape. I'm looking at my electric tape. And she looks pretty tight. So I am going to gently, don't want to force it because you will screw up the alignment if you do it too hard, too fast. There's probably a joke in there, but I'm going to leave that alone. All right. Is it still lined up? Straight as could be. All right. So now I'm ready to apply the extra wraps to really lock the handle to the reel seat. And I might do 2, I might just need 1. Depends how I feel. So I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. I like to be able to feel the wraps of tape. It kind of gives my fingers a place to grab onto, to hold tight with. And I'm going to do that and try to keep them pretty much in line. Not worried about stretching the tape out yet because, like I said, I usually do 2 wraps. If I wanted to, I would right now. Still looks great, so I'm going to go ahead and do the next one. And do that on the back. Now, I don't know if anybody else came up with this kind of concept or application before with the masking tape, but back in the early 2000s, it just made sense to me. All right. Like I said, I'm not worried about stretching it out quite yet. It tends to lock itself down when you do that, but I'm just starting my base. All right, so I am going to do another one. I do like to fit the tape so there's a ridge. I'm going to start right back on my original line. I want it to be layered right there so my fingers can feel it. My fingers can feel it through gloves even. Although I will tell you 80% of the time, even when it's really, really cold out, I will not use gloves. I actually prefer wool or fingerless gloves until they get wet. And now I'm going to stretch because I know that reel is locked down. It's not going to move when I tighten it up. And I can look down the shaft and the eyes are still straight. It's locked in now. I'm just putting this extra wrap here. And sometimes it makes more sense to go a bunch of short wraps, but stuff really doesn't stick like packing tape and get all clumped together. All right. As long as you take your time with it, it's going to be good to go. Go ahead and peel it off a little bit, and I'm going to do my final stretch. All right, you can see it's all locked down. Everything's nice and straight still. Perfect. And now I can grip it. This is the pistol grip, and this is how I'm going to fight a big fish coming up the hole. That way, because it is a moderate action, I don't get to horse it in. I can get the head of the fish lined up into the hole, and I don't have to worry about hooks getting stuck on the side of the bottom of the ice or the bottom edge of the hole itself. All right. So, St Croix Dead Eye from their custom ice series. Can't wait to get this out on Saginaw Bay. Hopefully we get on Lake Erie at some point. Daiwa reel, 8-pound test, all spooled up. This rod couldn't be outside. That's why I don't use braid. If you got a really cold winter, water comes up, we'll lock that braid into a solid mass. where it just doesn't adhere as well to the monofilament when it comes up out of the hole when I reel it back in. And you can see how nice and smooth that Daiwa reel is too. All right, next time, I had somebody ask me today on Facebook about doing the Michigan 2-fly rig. Or that's actually my open water perch rig. The Michigan fly rig. So, till next time.